A pleasant good evening to you and yours, and welcome to the Brevard Sports Network, our final coaches recap show of the spring. And as me and myself, Jackson, Caleb, Cadence, all of us were talking, we laid out our schedule for the spring recap football show. And if I mean, let's be honest here. I mean, social media has never gone away. In fact, it's only going to be intensified. If you look across social media and you look at the team that's the most talked about in terms of the upcoming season, in terms of potential and talent and what they did last season, there's no doubt that that football program is the Eau Gallie Commodores, and they make headlines again last week or within the last 10 days, scheduling the first academy, a powerhouse of a football program out of Orlando. And so it gives me a great deal of pleasure to bring on to our final coaches recap show the head football coach for the Eau Gallie Commodores, Chris Sands. Coach, welcome back to Brevard Sports Network. And let's start here. I know you kind of had like an intra-squad type of a spring game against each other, but for a couple of years now, you haven't played a spring game. How's that worked out for you?
Yeah, I mean it's something that kind of just happened naturally. We couldn't find a game last year. This year we weren't really having much success with finding a game either. Again, so we just decided to have an intersquad with our guys. We have so much traffic in the college world, so as coaches, it's hard to prepare for 2.5 weeks and have a game with. We're just trying to showcase our kids with these college coaches watching. So again, it's a blessing in disguise. We had a great spring. We stayed healthy. And obviously, we had a lot of guys get exposed to the college, lifestyle of these coaches coming by practice and watching us. So we felt like it was a really successful spring.
Yeah, no doubt. And coach, so I want to start there. You know, a lot of people, if you look at your roster from last year, I don't think people know you graduated a ton of talent last year, coach, and I think that gets by people. I mean, you kind of had that roster where you had a lot of sophomores, but you had some seniors at some key positions. So as you went into spring, coach, what were your expectations for some of your units? Like, what were you looking for the most?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely lost a lot on defense. We almost lost our entire defense from last season, but we did have a lot of guys that played. And the one cornerstone that we have is arguably the best player in the state, and Xavier Larry. So he is
Yeah.
back. But the rest of the defense is basically gone. So the thing we do during spring, we do it every spring, no matter if we lose guys or we don't, is fundamentals. Just understanding the little things, so it's easy when it gets to the fall season. So again, all that installing playbooks and all that stuff, yeah, we do that, but just the little fundamental things of each position, we just try to find some time to go over every little single situation and every little single technique that we have to go through. And then with that, we develop some depth, finding guys that might be out of position, that might can play a different position, that can play multiple positions. Just trying to finalize some depth so when we come in the fall, we're not. Completely blind in the situation. We had that situation last year with AJ Forehand. AJ came in, he was a corner, played corner all year for us. And then we kind of dabbled in some things in spring. And then obviously he played that hybrid position for us and ended up being the defense player of the year in the county. So again, we utilize our spring within each other to kind of fine tune, the little things and obviously develop some depth.
Yeah, I mean, you had one heck of a defense last season, no doubt about that, Coach. You get a guy back, and I want to just go back to X Man Xavier Larisse for a second because you get a guy like X back who is settled in, he's made his college commitment. Going into last year at this time, obviously there's a lot of pressure on this young man to make a decision as to where he's going to college. What differences do you see in him coming in this year? And I know how great he was last year. He was our MVP. But what differences do you see in him this year as opposed to last year?
Yeah, I don't think there's much of a difference at all. If those of y'all that know X, I mean, he's been the same kid since I've known him since he was in middle school. He doesn't waver. I don't think I've ever seen the kid get down on himself or frown or he's just a really happy kid. And so when you get in that aspect of things of trying to develop a kid like that, you just try to do the little things, the leadership stuff, just kind of voicing his mind at times, but he does everything the right way. He prepares well. He does everything, leads by example. And obviously that's, kind of the book he's written for himself going to Oregon right now. But again, it's because he does things the right way. So the improvement is just him developing a little bit more as a vocal leader. But at the end of the day, this kid he's different. He's a special talent, and we're excited for his future.
Yeah, I think you have a lot of special talents. Coach, let me ask you this question. And, I'm just going to pose it to you the same way I posed it to the other coaches because, I mean, let's be honest, what it's become is a portal of sorts. And you kind of look at youth football and middle school players and even players established at other schools. Certainly this offseason, they want to be going to play for the Eau Gallie Commodores. I think, looking at all the talent coming into Eau Gallie, how does that make you? First of all, let me ask you this. How does it make you feel? And how does as a program, to see that kids want to come to Eau Gallie and play football?
Yeah, I think it just comes with the success of winning football games. You look at Coco, you look at us, you look at anyone that has a successful season. Kids see that and they want to play for a successful team. So it's nothing we really have done, or we don't have any magical dust that we sprinkle on our program. We're just winning right now, and that's any team that's winning football games. That obviously we do a good job of sending kids off to school, but at the end of the day, kids just want to go win somewhere. And we've done that this past year, and that's why we're reaping the benefits of kids wanting to go play for us. Obviously, it's a good feeling, but at the end of the day, we can only put 11 on the field. And we've always done this. We're going to put the best 11 on the field. So again, we're excited for what we have in, but that's all irrelevant if you don't put the work in. And we feel like we do a great job in the summer of preparing. So again, we're in the process of that. So, hopefully by August, we'll be ready to play a football game.
And I know you're putting the work in because I drive by that road just about every day during the spring, and you guys were out there, and yeah, I mean working hard. I mean, you can see, you can literally see from the road the sweat coming off the backs of your players. Coach, before we get back to your players, I want to talk to you about your schedule because adding TFA percentage-wise, and I'm not taking away TFA's losses last year, regardless of what the FHSAA says. I know what kind of football program you're going to go up against. Counting their wins and losses from last season, it makes your schedule the toughest schedule in the county this year in terms of strength of schedule percentage-wise. It surpasses what Heritage put together. Coach, you look at a schedule like this, and I know you're going to tell me you want to play the best to be the best. And in order to be the best, you got to play the best. Tell me about the theory on putting this schedule together for this team this year.
Yeah, I mean, we have to figure out a way to beat a team like Miami Northwestern. We're not satisfied for going to the Final Four. We want to win it all. We want to be like Coco. We want to be able to win a state championship. And for order to do that, we got to face some adversity during the year to beat a team like that. We saw it firsthand. We had one kid go out in Xavier Larice in that Final Four game,
Right.
and we weren't successful. So we got to face teams like that throughout the year to get us prepared to beat a team like Northwestern late in the playoffs. And again, we want to win it all. I mean, that's the goal. That's the goal as a high school team. It should be to win every single game to win a state championship. And again, we have to figure out a way to do that. And I think our schedule, obviously shows that. And to be honest, when you win 12 games in a high school year, it's hard to find games anyway. You
Yeah.
can't just post online and expect people to play you. It's just not going to happen. So we had a really, really hard time scheduling games. We play our senior night in September. That's how crazy our schedule is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I mean, we had a team that we've played the last 40 years or whatever drop us. But again, at the end of the day, we're trying to get better, and we're trying to win a state title, and we're trying to find a way to beat a team like Miami Northwestern. And I think our schedule this year will help us do that.
Listen, for it's on the screen, but I mean, you go Vero Beach, Rockledge, Heritage, you go the First Academy, Coco, Titus. I mean, even your district coach, your district presents issues. I mean, last year, I
Yes.
mean, you can see anything and everything can happen in this district with Titusville and with Merritt Island. And so you're not even escaping a tough schedule with your district like some other teams in the area might. I mean, your schedule with that district is the toughest in this county, no doubt. And there again, it is on the screen. Head with head coach Chris Sands. Coach, along with Coach Snyder, you and he are the elder statesmen in the county now. 8 years. It's going to be your 8th year walking onto a sideline. So let me ask you this. I asked him this. I'll ask you this. What's different about Chris Sands heading into year 8 than year 1? What would you say is different about you?
I can't go out there and kick step like with my guys like I used to. That's for sure. But no, it's a learning curve. I've been really lucky to have really good people around me. I say it all the time. I'm X's and O's. Like I'm not the best, but I have really good guys around me, and we work really well together. I feel like you know. The way we've kept coaches on our staff from day one is a testament to how much we enjoy being around each other. And again, I mean, to be honest, you look at us and you look at Coco, the two most successful teams in the county last year were the two longest term coaches. Just being around each other and, our kids understanding expectations. And, at the end of the day, like I said, we're just trying to, impact our guys. And we say it all the time as a staff, like, after 4 years, the kids are gone. We're still going to be here. So what are these guys are going to get within these 4 years is going to, help them in the long haul. So, we use this as our outlet as a staff. And like I said, we like being around each other, and, it's fun out there for us.
Here with head coach Chris Sands. And coach, let me go back to your football team. I want to talk about your quarterback. I feel like I've been talking about Joseph Allen for 6 years. I mean, it's crazy. Obviously, he's only going into his third. He's only going to be a junior, correct? Am I right?
That's correct.
Rising junior Joseph Allen. He's just been so much fun to watch progress. Tell me about his progression from when you saw him against Miami Northwestern until spring.
Yeah, I think it's a travesty not giving this kid the kudos that he deserves. He's won so many football games in his high school career. He took a merit or MCC team his freshman year and won a bunch of playoff games with them. He took a senior led, heavy team in us and won 12 games and went to the Final Four. And this kid just does it week in and week out. He's not afraid of competition. And again, I don't understand why people around here aren't giving him what he deserves in praise. He competes. He's one of the best football players I've been around in my career. And at the end of the day, this kid is, going to be one of the best that leaves here. He has 2 more years of high school football, which is incredible to even think. But to do what he did last year, taking, again, a team full of alphas and Emmanuel Small and Brandon Brown and Josh Roberts and all these kids that are alpha driven, and he comes in and puts his foot down and leads us to the Final Four. I just don't think he gets enough credit for what he's done and how much better he's gotten. The kid's lost about 20 pounds in the offseason just to be college ready when his number's called. He has looked incredible, the last 3 or 4 months. And again, he's only getting better. So we're really, really excited for the season with him leading us.
It's funny because I often think about him, and it's weird, and even we have to change our mindset as it pertains to Joseph Allen, because I think, Coach, we talked about him, when he was at MCC. It's just weird because, like I said, I feel like I've been talking about him for 6 years, but in reality, you're right. When the time comes, his name isn't in there, and it should be more. You're 100%
He's a winner.
right. Yeah, that's what he does. That's what you want from your quarterback. And the crazy
part is, people are debating of who the best quarterback in the county is and all that stuff. This kid has proven it.
Yeah.
I mean, he proved it his freshman year. He won 10 games his freshman year. He won 12 games with us last year. It's just crazy to think that, this isn't the first name to come out of people's mouths when they're talking about the elite of the county at the quarterback position. I mean, he's literally proved it every year. And then, hopefully, these next few years, he'll be able to continue to prove it.
I wish, Coach, when I played quarterback, my coach fought for me like that. I'm serious.
There's no need to, but here's the thing: like, there's no
Yeah.
need to fight for him. He
No,
does
no,
it on the field.
I know
He
what you're
shows it in
saying.
film. He shows it statistically. Like,
He
he
does.
does everything right. And the only reason why he doesn't get the praise is because he plays for us, and people don't like us, and that's just reality. But again, at the end of the day, we're going to continue to do what we do, and that kid is going to lead our program to the highest level, which again he did last year.
I was,
And
I was,
again, the only reason why he has a downfall is because he has our name across his chest.
I was
But
talking to
again, that's reality.
I was talking to Jack Gallo about him. Jack loves him, and former Eau Gallie quarterback Jack Gallo, and about just about how he has all the tools. I'll tell you what. There's no doubt. I know that, and you've been seeing Joseph's stats, and it's not like one particular game. It's a consistency thing with him. He's consistent week in and week out. I go back to the Bishop Moore game last year, Coach, and how he fought through that game and how impressive he was in
Yeah, I mean,
that.
people say who has he beaten? He beat Vero Beach last year. Vero
Yeah,
Beach was regarded as almost the best team in the state at a time. Like who he beat Bishop Moore. He beat all these teams.
yeah.
So the fact of who has he beaten? I mean, he beats teams every single year, and we'll continue to show that. And again, he'll continue to lead us to success.
Well, he's 12. Yeah, I mean, Coach, any quarterback that takes a team to a state semifinal, I mean, just to get there, period, is
Right.
impressive enough.
Right.
Here with Chris Sands. So let me ask you this: who's going to be? I know last year, you guys. I love how you guys adapt, Coach, to your personnel.
Yep.
We saw it last year. You didn't run the football as much last year, and so where are you in the backfield position this year?
Yeah. Again, we just take what teams give us, and we're going to utilize our personnel. Last year, we weren't great up front, so we had to establish the perimeter run game and obviously throw the football. This year, we think we'll be better up front, and we have playmakers all over the field. Guys like T.J. Monroe and Jamarcus Giscombe, and Lucas Facelli, who was hurt last year, and
I forgot
obviously,
about him.
again, arguably the best player in the state, and Xavier Larice. So we got guys everywhere. We got freshmen that are coming in that are going to compete for us, and ex Corbin, and Captain Roll, and these kids are super super talented. But at the end of the day, we're going to take what teams give us. If we get the one-on-one matchup, we're going to go to it, and we expect our guys to make plays. So the playmaking ability on our offense isn't going to be an issue, whether it's in the backfield or whether it's at the receiver position, because number 12 is going to get them the ball and going to get the ball in space to them, and it's going to be hard to stop us.
Yeah, Coach, I got a question for you. You're getting some really good young talent from the youth and middle school level. You mentioned one there, ex Corbin. Not just ex Coach, but any of these young players that you have that are coming into your program. What's some of the advice you're giving these guys? Because it's a different world today than even it was 5 years ago. I mean, God bless them, Coach. I love seeing the announcements that they're going to this school, or it just seems odd to me. I can still be the guy, get off of my lawn sometimes, if you know what I mean, the old school guy.
Yep.
So what advice do you have for these young guys coming in who are superstars at the middle school and youth football level?
Not just to understand, like, it's not going to come easy. Talent. Most of these kids come in with talent, and we see it every year. But they got to understand, like, you're not going to get the ball every play just because you're talented. High school is different, where you run an offense or on defense. You have a schematic of utilizing personnel. So again, just because you get a run play, it does. We're going to change that if it's not the right numbers in the box or whatever it's going to take. They got to understand, like, there has to be some creativity to get whether it's a freshman or a senior, the ball, there's more to it than just throwing a toss out there or throwing a deep ball or whatever it is. It's just more to it. And for these young kids to understand that, it's hard because they're used to saying, I want the ball, and then the coach gets them the ball. Where they're going to have to understand, like, there is a schematic to everything. And just to be patient, and when their number is called, make a play. Because once you start making plays, then you start, putting stuff around people, and, understanding that, plays have to get made at the high school level, and when you have those opportunities to make them.
I know better than to ask you about any other game on your schedule other than the Kickoff Classic or Vero Beach. So why don't we start here as you get prepare for your summer workouts, or you're doing your summer workouts, I should say, and I'll ask you about those in a second. What did you learn about your football team? Obviously, you had expectations going into the spring about what you wanted to see, but what did you learn about your team when you hung up the whistle for the padded spring practices?
Yeah, I think our guys are self motivated. We don't have to do a lot of rah rah. They know our expectations and they understand what's in front of them. We're going to play elite teams every week. We expect to win and expect to make a run in December. And again, I think the expectation of everything has motivated our guys, motivated our coaches to do things the right way, and again, come into every single practice ready to work. Because if you don't, you'll get exposed because that person next to you is working, and we got to make sure that our guys understand that we're not going to accept mediocrity. We want every rep to be correct, and we want every rep to be at 100%. So again, I think the self motivation for our guys is really high, and that's half the battle when it comes to high school sports.
What does your summer workouts entail? Will you guys be playing in any 7-on-7? What are you guys doing this summer?
Yeah, we'll do a handful. We actually just came back from UF last week. We'll go to USF this week. We're doing one more in a couple weeks. But yeah, just getting these guys around and understanding that it's not about X's and O's. The 7-on-7 world is different, but we just want our guys to be around each other, understand how they compete with one another because we do have a lot of new faces, and just having these new guys understand our expectations. We don't go into anything just to do okay. We go into everything to win. So again, just the have these expectations high and have our new guys understand what we're trying to do.
Coaches, we get set to wrap up here, and I certainly appreciate you joining us. I'm just sitting here looking at the schedule, and I'm just shaking my head at it. I'm like, man, this is going to be a lot of fun to watch this year and talk about on Friday nights. But again, a self-motivated team. You got a great staff. Tell me something going into the season we don't know about this football team that we are going to find out.
I think that we don't really care about the noise. We're going to go in and we do it every year. Everyone's going to talk and do what they do. But at the end of the day, like our goal has always been the same: is to win a lot of football games and to come out of high school successful, whether it's in playing college football or in the job force or whatever they decide to do. That's our goal. So again, the talk is the talk, but I think we've proved ourselves to kind of knock out that noise and just do what we do and not worry about the other stuff around us and just go and compete and have fun and try to win a championship.
Here's a good one for you. What if the noise this year, and as a coach, right? I mean, you and I, we talked about it at Thanksgiving about talking about the other team in the north end of the county and their success. But coach, with your roster, your talent, there are a lot of people that are going to take this football team as the best in Brevard County. Now, I would ask coaches this question, and a lot of coaches will tell me we don't want to temper those expectations. That's what we expect from ourselves. But what do you tell your guys? Because social media is social media, and there are a lot of people that are saying this is the best Eau Gallie football team ever assembled on a team. How do you temper those expectations, or do you even want to temper them?
No, I don't think we do. I think we want our guys to understand that our expectations are high, and they've always been.
Yeah.
That's never changed. We've always expected to win every game. We've always expected to play at a high level. We don't accept mediocrity when it comes to the play on Friday nights. And I say to all the time, like if you don't get the job done, someone's going to be behind you, willing to get it done. So again, the performance is a big thing for us, and not just on Friday nights, but in practice as well. You got to practice hard, and you got to show that you're ready to go because we're going to play the best 11, and that's what we've always done. And we again expect high things from this team, and the expectations are going to be high, and people are going to talk. But again, that's every year, and that comes with success. Like you have guys or people that decide not to like you, or when you are successful, then they start liking you. But all that's irrelevant because ball's going to get kicked off on Friday night, and none of that noise is going to be in your helmet. So you got to figure out a way in your mind to, go at your best ability to be successful as a team.
I guess welcome to the world of what the New England Patriots dealt with, right?
No, that's not us. We don't have any championships. That's the difference.
Well,
If we win a couple state titles,
then
and that's what
we'll go
the
ahead.
credit of Coco. I mean, they're winning state title every year, and credit to them because they do a great job with their program. We're just trying to win one. We feel like as a staff, the coaches around these kids were able to do it. But again, we got to get over that hump beating a team like Northwestern. We beat the Veros of the world. We beat the Bishop Moores of the world. We're beating all these teams, but at the highest level. What are we going to do? We lost to Jesuit my second year there, who won it all. We lost to American Heritage 3 years, when we got this job. They won it all. We lost to Northwestern this past year. They won it all. How do we beat a team like that to win the state championship? Nothing's in our 3A. We're not going to walk into a luck thing where one of these teams is going to lose. It's just not reality facing these Miami teams. So we have to, again, figure out a way to put 11 on the field that are going to beat their 11. And I think our schedule this year will help with that and the adversity we face this year because, as in high school football, it's okay to lose a game until it gets to the playoffs. So again, we expect to win every game. But at the end of the day, we want to put our kids in the best situation to win in the playoffs. And I think we did that with this schedule.
There's no doubt you did that with this schedule. Vero Beach, Rockledge, Heritage. Is Jacksonville Range still on your schedule?
No, they somehow dropped us, and that's why we.
That you got TFA. Okay, I just wanted to be sure.
But again, it doesn't matter who we don't care.
Right.
We're not scared of anyone. We try to play the best every year. Like we would play the Miami Dolphins if we needed to open the week. Like it really doesn't matter to us. We just want to compete against the best. At the end of the day, like I said, these kids are only here 4 years.
Yep.
So we want to give them the best situation to win every football game.
Yeah, Vero Beach, Rockledge, Heritage, TFA, Cocoa, Titusville, Trinity Catholic. Don't let that 2-9 record fool you because they play a schedule.
No, they
are. A couple of years ago, they went to the state championship game.
It was last year. Yeah, the one before last year.
3 regular season wins they had, folks.
We saw them at UF this past week. They are as talented as they've ever been.
And then Merritt Island, of course, are rebuilding Palm Bay. And Atlantic Del Rey, who was 11-2 last year. 11-2. It's incredible. And just, look, last year, 6-0 against Brevard County, 182-30 was the combined score with 3 shutouts. Coach, I'm looking forward to watching your football team play this year. Thanks for rounding out our coaches' football recaps here. I want to thank Jimmy Hula'S as well. Coach, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Y'all have a good day.
Yeah, you too. All right, that's head coach Chris Sands from the Eau Gallie Commodores, and it's the same message every year. We will play you, and you know what? We're going to learn from each game, and the goal is to win a state championship this year. There's no doubt about it. So for Chris Sands, I'm Alan Slaughter-Zinski for the Brevard Sports Network.